So tell us a little bit about what happened. What was your journey from when you came to Pakistan, why you never went back?
Well, in a nutshell, it was the love of the people here. I've been to many disaster zones over the years, even since I've worked in Pakistan the last 15 years, since the 2005 Zalzala. I've been to the Philippines, Haiti, Japan, Bangladesh for the Rohingya camps a couple times, other places. And everywhere I've ever gone, people are appreciative of the work I've done in logistics and helping medical teams and volunteer doctors do their jobs. But it was Pakistan where people asked me to stay. And the nature of Pakistanis being so hospitable and warm and emotional and genuine in these mountain villages and places, it just really took me, and I saw a lot of need here. So after originally coming with a group of Pakistani American doctors for the earthquake for 2 weeks, they asked me to stay a little longer. That became like 2 months. During that time, I just fell in love with the people, assembled a team together of my own. And then the Army, in fact, is who helped us. The brigadiers and the men of the Pakistan Army that we worked with during the earthquake told me that they would help me register. So I had people in the Army asking me to stay and they'd help me register, people in the villages. A lot of people came up from Karachi. I met a lot of people from Karachi that came up to help. So I just met all these wonderful people who didn't look at all like the terrorists that the United States and Western media portrayed Pakistan, because at that time I didn't know anything about Pakistan until I came here, and I had friends that said don't go there, because I had just come back from Hurricane Katrina, and before that the tsunami in Sri Lanka. So literally 5 minutes in the door from the Hurricane Katrina, I saw the news of the earthquake in Pakistan. My son and I were sitting there having a pizza. I hadn't seen him for a month because I was in the disaster zone in Louisiana, and it was all over the news. So I told my son, I'm going to Pakistan. Before I knew how I was getting there or who I was going with, then I called the Pakistan embassy and they told me about a group of Pakistani American doctors. So I invited some friends who I'd worked with at 9/11 and Hurricane Katrina and these disasters. And one guy went with me, an ex-Marine named Jim, but everybody else was like, you're going into the belly of the beast. You're going somewhere where, you're going to help a bunch of kids who are going to grow up and just blow us up someday. So when I came to Pakistan, I figured, I bet you a lot of that is baloney, and the reason is because I already knew and suspected our media of, having an agenda and maybe the lies of omission, not telling everything. So I very quickly learned that they only tell maybe 2% of the truth 100% of the time about Pakistan. You never heard about Edie, and you never heard about Muhammad Amjad Sakab and Al Kuwait Foundation and all the wonderful people like people like you and who did work at the 2010 floods. You don't hear about these beautiful, wonderful, amazing, brilliant children. The media in America only wanted to hear about Taliban and Al Qaeda and somebody that is ready to blow your head off with an AK-47. So when I came to Pakistan, I very quickly realized that I have been fooled, and many Americans, millions of Americans have been misled. Misconceptions are there. And so I just fell in love with the country, and I was asked to stay.